ladies and gentlemen, friends, Dharma teachers, alright, we're going to begin this second half of presentation. I'd like to begin by asking, did we do the assignment? How many of us have done the assignment? Jonathan, did you have the assignment?
If you could clarify what assignment.
The assignment was how many breaths do we take in a lifetime?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay, great. So, now, why did you do it?
Because it made me conscious of my subconscious. So, like, even though breathing is a very habitual thing that I do, it made me aware that there is something in the background that regulates itself and that I should be aware of it. Just as Dr. Lowe said, sitting on this feeling, our presence, I guess.
Great. Wonderful.
When I read the questions, I just don't know how to answer, so it makes me really think deeply, what is it about? So it makes my, just like Jonathan said, I have to really think and then try to understand what does it mean.
That's magnificent. I actually did the exercise too, and I was kind of borrowing Obama's statement, whether I should disclose my answer and share it with you, but that's evolving. We'll talk about it as the presentation progresses, okay? Now, can I have slide 2, please? How to open our mind. Another way of expressing it, how do we broaden our horizon? Let's go to the next slide, please. The meaning and value of life. Okay, Buddhism, Jing Xing has already defined it earlier on. Buddhism is actually an evolving human consciousness. Now, consciousness is not, in medical language, the alertness, okay? It's consciousness, so let's not get those two terms confused. It's just like the way Jing Xing was saying earlier on, definition, okay? So, in a lot of our daily activities, daily concerns, we said consciousness. We meant just alertness. This is consciousness, okay, in a different meaning. Including religion, I like to put science before metaphysics, and philosophy. And what this all sum up to is the meaning of life. Now the next slide, enlightenment. That's what we are all trying to achieve in this series of seminars, is embracing this knowledge in totality and living our life wisely to its highest value, the value of life. I think, in all religion, this is what we're talking about. Okay? Again, the meaning of life and the value of life. Can we go to the next slide, please? Now, what is metaphysics? I think what we have gone through in the previous lectures. Metaphysics is beyond physics, beyond form. The branch of philosophy concerned with the study of the nature of beings, existence, time, and space, and causality. Okay? Let us sing in again. The branch of philosophy concerned with the study of the nature of beings, existence, time and space, and causality. Now, can we think of anything more encompassing than this? I don't think so. We ask a lot of questions, and some of them are very important. In universities, before we enter, we always have prerequisites. That's what the university places on us, okay? I like to change that term slightly to foundation. Do we have the foundation to the big questions that we asked? Well, that was posed. Right? I cannot ask a primary school student to do calculus. So we have to build on our foundation, and that's exactly what Jing Xing was saying earlier on. You have to go from grade 1, grade 2, and gradually build it up. Otherwise, you can ask the biggest question on quantum physics. If you haven't even done basic physics, you're not going to be able to understand the answers. So that's, I believe, is what prerequisite or foundation is all about. So next slide, please. All right, so let's start. When the baby was born, it was a clean slate. It was basically blank. Nothing. All right? Actually, this is a very stuffy lecture, by the way. Okay, everyone. It's going to be very stuffy, especially for the new people. Now, I'm going to have to ask you for your participation, okay? So now we can, because it's so stuffy, it's going to be about nothing and goes nowhere. And it takes no time. I repeat. Okay, it's a very stuffy lecture that talks about nothing, goes nowhere, and takes no time. So we can all participate together. It will be very fast, okay? And I'm sure we'll be leaving before 4:30 if we participate. Alright? Now, baby is basically a clean slate. Nothing. Now in this baby, we can see the baby is kind of seeing and probably thinking too. Alright, next slide please. Now, when the baby was getting bigger, money is no issues to the baby. Okay? Baby hasn't even learned the value of money. It's just a piece of paper. Alright? But he's beginning to get an idea of what things are. Alright, then we learn mathematics. 1, 2, 3. We start knowing how to count. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, our 5 fingers. She has 10, so she is more advanced than me. Now that is at least the mathematics I hope I can understand. Right? I hope all of us can. Okay, sorry. That's beyond my scope. Alright? So, now, numbers are interesting, and I like to kind of keep going, okay? Now, let's go to something that I can understand, because my math isn't good, so I become a doctor. Now, 1 dimension, linear 1 dimension. On one side is unit, the middle is increment in the log 10 and digits. Now, is anybody who doesn't understand log 10, digits, and units? Great. Alright? Okay, no, he's a PhD and he doesn't understand it. Alright.
So, just an addendum. That number on the lower right-hand side is the slide number.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We have slide number now. So we're on slide number 10. Okay.
Thank you. We start with 10, which has 2 digits. That becomes 100, 3. Now that's still linear, isn't it? Right? Then we go to thousands, which has 4. Millions, 7. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, so now, ignore the first 4 lines, we've gone through it. We add billions. Warren Buffett, that type of people, they know how to count billions. Now, then we add one more, trillions, American deficit. Alright? Thank you. Now, quadrillion. What is it? Scrooge, right? Scrooge? Yeah, here's a quadrillion there, right? Okay. Then we have gazillion. Now, I'm going to ask Jonathan a question, okay? He's in business. Jonathan, did all the banks together have enough money like a quadrillion? Is that more than all the banks in Canada have together?
Yeah, that's more than all the banks. Quadrillion.
Okay, so it's a huge number. We still have a concept of what that is, because we had heard about quadrillion, quadrillion, and all that in our vocabulary. Now down below, okay, so we have zillion, jillion, and gazillion. These are all just names, isn't it? They aren't anything. And when the Arabs gave us number system, it's so much easier, isn't it? Alright, let's go to the next slide, please. Actually, let's look at the last slide. If we add another 3 zeros to it, that's 22 digits, by the way. If you don't want to count it, take our word. It's 22 digits. Now, isn't that close to infinity, or is it infinity? Does it mean anything to us? Can we call that infinity? I see someone nodding, shaking their head. Good work. But if we talk to Joe Blow on the streets, that probably is infinity, isn't it? No, that's wrong. Dr. Boyd, Joe Blow on the street don't even know what infinity means.
Isn't 10 to the power 22 or more? There is a name for that.
Yeah, there is, actually. You are good. Okay, well, you are ahead of me a few slides. Okay, but for a lot of people, I think we call it that closer to infinity, isn't it? Right? Okay, now, 2-dimensional, okay? Wide, height, and width. Alright, so we start with tens. So it's 100, 2 zeros, 3 digits. 10,000, 5 digits. Okay. Now we're going by squares, right? Okay. Then the next one, 100 million, 9 digits. Go to the bottom line, we have very close to what we were. 17 digits, okay? Now next one, If we double it, it's 33 digits. So what's infinity in this case? Bigger than what it was previously, wasn't it? So if Joe Blow on the street defined it as infinity, and Joe Blow here say infinity is 33 digits, excuse me, that term is confusing. We haven't defined infinity yet, have we? Okay, let's go back to Jing Xing's earlier lecture. Okay, define the terms. Okay, next, please. Now, answer Jonathan's question, actually. Your right side, on the green box, it says short scale. Actually, US and modern British had already defined some of the names. Now, we start with 10 to the power 6. I think we all know what 10 to the power 6 means. That's at least 6 digits, actually 7. So that's million. Line 2, irrelevant, we don't use it. Okay, we add 3 zeros to the back, becomes billion. Another 3 zeros, trillion. Another one, quadrillion, quintillion, septillion. Okay, now when we do this every 3 or add 3 more zeros, we actually can go ahead and increase it a bit and a bit. Now let's go to the next slide, please. By the way, this is already, okay, septillion is already beyond the first set of slides that we talked about, which we end at 10 to the 22nd power, right? Okay, we can actually go to octillion, nonillion, and decillion. Now, these are actually defined in the British and the American scale. So these are actually numbers that they have a word for. They have a name for it. Right? Now, the name is important because it's easier for us to understand. It's a label. Next one, please. So, undecillion. Wow, decillion, undecillion. It's not different, actually. It's just 3 more zeros. Next one, please. So we have dudecillion. Next one, please. Tridecillion. Next one, please. Okay. Then we have quadrudecillion. Then quintecillion, septecillion, septacillion, octodecillion, and nodecillion. That's 22 operations later. We're at 10 to the 60th power. That means it's 61 digits. It's way beyond what we had earlier. Okay. Now, is this infinity yet? No. No. Yeah, no, it's not yet, right? Okay, one more slide, please. Okay. Then there is vincetillion. And I think there's still one more. Centillion. Is it the end yet? Probably not. All right. So we're probably asking a very interesting question. As we increase our numbers, that word infinity has gone from 10 to the 22nd power to 10 to the 33 power, and now we're at, earlier on, another 10 to the 66th power. All right? Now, isn't this a stuffy lecture? Right? Okay, let's keep going then. Actually, I was going to do some slides on 3-dimension extension, which go length, width, and height, okay? And we can actually get to this number in about 3 or 4 calculations, right? But that was probably too simple and too easy, and it just gets too fast and no fun. So we follow the original slides. Now, Vatamsaka Sutra, that was one of the Buddha Sutra. And that was at least probably 2,000 years ago. Interestingly, they count numbers. They count the sand in the Ganges. And it started with 10 million. 1 million was just too small for them. So they started 1 koti, which is 8 digits. Then they go to koti times koti. Okay? Ayuta. Now, do we want to say it together? Koti times koti, ayuta, ayuta times ayuta, nayuta, 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 bimbaba, 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 kinkaka, kinkara, kinkara, agara, 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 parada, pavara, pavara, mapara. Okay, how many digits are there now? 897. Oh, I'm sorry, those Indians know how to count. It's 897 digits, more than the British. And they were doing it 2,000 years ago.
Okay? And just want that point sink in a bit. Next slide, please. Alright. Mapara, mapara, tapara, 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 simma. Simma, simma, yama. Yama, yama, mima. Mima, mima, avada. Avada, avada, maraka. Makara, Makara, Virada. Virada, Virada, Vikara. Exactly. Well, they sure have the energy. Right? They sure know how to perform. Now, would someone like to read out how many digits are there on line 16? There's 16 computations. Digits. That's 10 to the what power? I'm sorry, I don't know. Okay, just too much. Right? Thank the Arabs, okay? The Arabs invented the number system. But the Indians had those concepts long before the symbols of the Arabics. So we thank the Arabics for all the numbers and all that. We thought they were great. I don't know where they copied it from. Alright, next one. Vigama, Vigama, Sankama. Sankama, Sankama, Visara. Visara, Visara, Vibhaja. Vibhaja, Vibhaja, Vinjanga. Vinjanga, Vinjanga, Vishuddha. Vishuddha, Vishuddha, Vivaha. Vivaha, Vivaha, Vibhapta. Vibhapta, Vibhapta, Vibhapta. Well, how many digits are there now? Well, it jumped, okay? Actually, well, do you know the mathematical question of it? 2n minus 1. Alright? 2n minus 1. Now, take a look at it. 2936012 times 2 minus 1. Okay, 2n minus 1. Do we get it? Alright, it's easier, isn't it? Right. Next one, please. Vikhata, Vikhata, Ilana. Ilana, Ilana, Avana. Avana, Avana, Pavana. Pavana, Pavana, Viparia. Viparia, Viparia, Samaya. Samaya, Samaya, Vitura. Vituna, Vituna, Hatura. Hatura, Hatura, Vikara. I think we're tired. But please look at how many digits are there. It's like the sand in the Ganges. There's a lot, a lot. Is it infinity yet? Let's go to the next slide. Vikara, Vikara, Vyavasta. Vyavasta, Vyavasta. That sounds like Hyundai, isn't it? Okay. Avangata. Avangata, Avangata, Vishita. Vishita, Vishita, Linamba. Linamba, Linamba, Harita. Harita, Harita, Vishoba, 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 Halita. Halita, Halita, Hari. Sorry, I'm not sure how many digits are there. Okay, just a lot, right? Still a lot. But it's still countable. Okay, next one, please. Hari, Hari, Aloka. Aloka, Aloka, Drasvata. Drasvata, Drasvata, Hituna. Hituna, Hituna, Ila. Ila, Ila, Dumela. Dumela, Dumela, Kashimu. Kashimu, Kashimu, Aluta. Aluta, Aluta, Aluta. Not ending yet, eh? Well, over 2,000 years ago, those Indians know numbers. Actually, I think some of them actually go and count the sand in the Ganges. They must have, okay? How could they come up with these numbers? Alright, next. Baluta, Baluta, Samanta. Samata, Samata, Vishada. Vishada, Vishada, Pamatra. Pamatra, Pamatra, Amantra. Amantra, Amantra, Pamantra. Pamantra, Pamantra, Kamantra, Kamantra, Namantra. Namantra, Namantra, Nahimantra. We're having so much fun here. Nahimatra, Nahimatra, Vimantra. Vimantra, Vimantra, Paramantra. Paramantra, Paramantra, Shivamantra. Shivamantra, Shivamantra, Bilu. Bilu, Bilu, Bilu. Bilu, Bilu, Tilu. Tilu, Tilu, Kilu. Kilu, Kilu, Nilu. Next please. Nilu, Nilu, Bilu. Bilu, Bilu, Kilu. Kilu, Kilu, Silu. Silu, Silu, Kilu. Pilu, Pilu, Milu. Milu, Milu, Sarada. Sarada, Sarada, Baruda. Baruda, Baruda, Karuda. Looks like we're chanting some songs. All right. Okay, next one, please. Kaludu, kaluda, maluda. Maluda, maluda, samula. Samalu, samalu, ababa. Ababa, ababa, kamala. Kamala, kamala, agaba. Agaba, agaba, ataru. Ataru, ataru, halura. Halura, halura, mularu. Okay, can we go ahead? Let's go. Viraru, viharu, karana. Karana, karana. Pamanda. Pamanda, pamanda, nagama. Nagama, nagama, apavata. Apavata, apavata, nadasha. Nadasha, nadasha, ashaya. Ashaya, ashaya, saputa. Okay, how many digits are there? More than we ever thought of, isn't it? Right, next slide please. Samputa, samputa, mamama. Mamama, mamama, avada. Avada, avada, apala. Apala, apala, pama. Pama, pama, sankhya, 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 gati. Gati, gati, apama. Upama, upama, ayupama. Next one please. Now, going to be interesting. Apamya, apamya, incalculable. Can we just stop for 1 second? Isn't it coming to a term that we can understand? Incalculable? Incalculable, is it a quality or a quantity terms?
Quantity.
In this setting, it is a quantity, right?
Yes.
In our daily activities, is incalculable a quantity or quality?
Becomes quality.
There's a conflict here, isn't it? We have conflict that we have created. And this sutra was written 2,000 years ago. Alright? So let's just bear that in mind, okay? We have a conflict in our mind here now. So, incalculable becomes incalculable square. Incalculable square equals incalculable quad. Alright? Let's just say quad that way. Incalculable quad, measureless. Again, are we coming with the same conflict? Measureless is actually a number. Alright? Let's at that point sink in a bit deeper. Keep going. Measureless, measure square, measureless square, measureless square, measureless quad. Measureless quad, boundless. Isn't that the universe? Boundless is a number. 2,000 years ago is a number. Today is a quality. Next one. Boundless square. Boundless square. Boundless quad, incomparable. Wow. A number. Incomparable square. Incomparable square, incomparable quad. Incomparable quad, unaccountable. Now isn't these terms kind of getting to us now? Unaccountable. Oh sorry, it's just a number. Unaccountable square. Unaccountable quad. Unaccountable quad, unequal. Of course it's unequal, it's such a huge number. But it's a number still. Next one, please. Unequal square, unequal quad. Unequal quad, inconceivable. It's really inconceivable that we are still saying these numbers together. It's just inconceivable. Right? It's still a number. Alright, keep going. Inconceivable square. Inconceivable quad. Inconceivable quad. Immeasurable. It is immeasurably big. Still a number, folks. Still a number. Alright, keep going. Immeasurable square. Immeasurable square. Immeasurable quad. Next slide, please. Immeasurable form, measurable quad. Unspeakable. I don't want nothing and unspeakable. It's a number, folks. It's a number, still. Next one, please. Unspeakable, unspeakable, unspeakable square, unspeakable square, unspeakable square, unspeakable 4 times, unspeakable 4, unspeakable 4, unspeakably unspeakable. See, they're beginning to repeat themselves, okay? Now, then, one more. Unspeakable, unspeakable, unspeakably unspeakable is untold. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Untold, okay? It's still a number, folks. Is that infinity yet? No. No. So before we go on, I love Star Wars movies, okay? I told you folks about it. One day, Skywalker was talking to R2-D2. We know who they are, right? R2-D2?
The robot.
The robots, alright? So Skywalker say, R2, I like to go and meet Yoda. On our way there, we will pick up Ben, Obi-Wan Kenobi, at Untold. And you know what D2 said to him? D2 is not allowed. Alright? Well, if we ever advance to Skywalker's era, Untold is just a number. Because his infinity is way beyond ours today. So now, wasn't it boring that we tried this counting number thing? No?
That was really kind of fun.
Okay.
Shall we ask the new student?
Yeah, please.
It was lots of fun.
May I just interject and we go back up to the slide? So when it gets interesting, when we know, it gets boring when we don't know the definition or the meaning of those words, right? But it gets interesting when it's in English, incalculable and so on. It begins to have some context to us. But when the Indian language, to them, every single word of these are meaningful. Now, in Buddhism, we always say the Buddha is sitting on the lotus flower, right? Do you see the word lotus flower here? Anyone see the word lotus flower?
No.
The reason we don't see the word lotus in here is because we don't speak Sanskrit. These are all Sanskrit, translated into English. To me, they were like, well, you used to say it's Dutch to me, right? Or we can say it's Greek these days. It's Sanskrit to us. We have no meaning because we don't understand it.
Do you see the word lotus?
I speculate it's Hanma.
I don't speak or write or read Sanskrit, but the word Padma is a very popular Indian name, especially the Nepalese, for girls, which means pure. So I figured that must be lotus.
Purity of lotus is on line number 93.
All right. So can we carry on from where we left off? So now, what we have done is use the one-dimension mindset to expand our horizon, to open our mind. On the slide here, we have a definition of finite versus infinite. Finite has been defined as having bounds or limits, measurable, capable of being completely counted, non-infinite or infinitesimal, not zero. That's actually a very profound 2 words, not zero. Infinite, unlimited or unmeasurable, indefinitely or exceedingly great. Now, I'm going to ask this question ahead of the next slide. Are they opposite terms? Jonathan, what do you think? Is finite and infinite opposite terms? Okay, she was saying something. Okay, maybe you can help me express that.
I think it's opposite.
Jonathan?
I think it is the same.
Okay, so we have different views. Alright, so let's go to the next slide. You can all be correct, by the way. Oh, a lot of boxes. Trillion, small box. Quadrillion, bigger box. Zillion, jillion, gazillion, fictitious names to a bigger box. And bigger box. Ultimately, we're infinity. As our thinking box progresses, we can accommodate more numbers. As we accommodate more numbers, finite and infinite seems to link together, isn't it? We had started with 10 to the 22nd power in our first set of slides. Then we go to 10 to the 33 power. Then we go up to when we start counting the sands in the Ganges, okay, the Abhidhamma Saka Sutra. I don't think we have a limit to how many digits we could go. And we go to Skywalker's way of talking to R2-D2. We really don't know where's the end of the number system. So our previous duality, opposites, seems to be losing its definition, isn't it? Our finite and the infinite doesn't seem to be oppositing each other. It's blending into each other. So what is producing that opposite that we were talking about, that every day people talk about? Let's go to the next slide, please. All right? Now, this is actually one of the crucial parts. Okay? Now, duality at the top means relative opposite, like yin yang. Now, finite versus infinite, what are they? They're just measurements, isn't it, folks? They're just measurements. They're not opposite. They can accommodate each other. Next one. Male and female. You know how many chromosomes together that are the same rather than different? It's 1 out of 46. It's the XY chromosome that makes male and female different. We're not opposite. Correct? Black and white. I love the English language. Black and white means anything else. It can be a color. It can be whether you're right or wrong. Whether you're righteous or non-righteous. Okay? So what is it anyways? It's just an abstraction, really. Okay? You look from light spectrum. It's just different mix of color. Next one. Living and death. For Buddhists, reincarnation. Death is just the beginning of life. Life is just the beginning of death. Is it opposite? We're beginning to doubt that. North and south, polarity. Imagine you're sitting near the North Star. What's north and south? Oh, positive, negative pole. Yeah. Polarity only. Okay, folks? Okay, they're not opposite. We made it opposite. They're not. Good and evil. Survival advantage. Heaven and hell. Physical spirituality. We have a seminar or lecture on it. Yes and no. It's not opposite, by the way. It's a choice. Okay, now quoting the late, actually deceased Zig Ziglar, a Texan. He wrote a lot of actually inspiration books, okay, on salesmen. He's the salesman of salesmen. And he said, no, N-O. It's just because your customer doesn't K-N-O-W know enough to say yes. It's a choice. Alright? It's not an opposite. It's just a choice. And he is not a Buddhist, by the way. Okay? He's a Catholic. Alright? Coming back to the original slide that we have, is the meaning of life and the value of life. Okay? That's what Buddhism is all about. Next one, please. Alright. So, in summary, okay? Finite, measurable units. Infinite, immeasurable, no units. When we start adding units to it, things kind of get into a mixed bag. So, by introducing additional units to measure large numbers, the immeasurable becomes measurable, isn't it? Alright? And we break through duality. Duality, you and I are opposite. You and I are enemies. You and I are friends. Okay, that's duality, folks. Okay? Opposite, a product of small mindset, small thinking box. When your thinking box expands, there's really harder and harder to find an opposite. X is inside the box, Y is outside the box, therefore they are opposite. No box, no opposite, thinking outside the box. The usefulness of very big and very small numbers are illustrated by the next lecture. Alright? Okay, it's just like a 金融 in this world, I will find that. Okay? Alright, good luck next chapter, next time. Alright, next one please. Alright, take home message. Infinity is a concept founded on within the box thinking. Okay? Now, remember what this lecture is about? Opening our mind, widening our horizon, okay? Widening our horizon. So, infinity, a limited thinking box. Okay, we are expanding our mind to accommodate more things, folks. Finite and infinite are not opposite. That's what Jonathan said, okay? And not mutually exclusive terms. They are arbitrary concepts, a thought process. That depends on how far the mind is open. And they're just relative. Abstract concepts such as infinity are qualifier. It can be actually quantified and can be introduced by new units of measurement. Next one, please. Alright, these are descriptive terms. Okay. Most importantly, I'd like to emphasize quality and singularity. Alright, next one, please. Alright. Now, any comments, any suggestions, any questions?
I thought that was very insightful, and thank you for sharing that. Now I really understand that there is no space or time or no boundaries. It's just how you define them, and your own fear and everything like that is what you really create for your own self. And if you can encounter those and I guess break through those barriers, then it's limitless, or even that is a term, I guess. So there is nothing really to say about your potential and your capabilities. This lecture was fun. Thank you.
Very interesting lecture, especially when we're counting numbers. In the back of your mind, you have like incalculable times incalculable becomes incalculable square. I mean, it's easy to read it, but actually we cannot count it. So what I'm trying to say is like, what we cannot conceive doesn't mean that it doesn't actually, it's not there. It is there, we just don't see it.
I think by counting in this way, everybody can correspond back to the sutra. 2,000 years ago, people already opened their mind, opened up by that far, that big. And now is our time to do it. And I'm so glad that AWE already had that concept and has a very good curriculum. So everybody would get the benefit out of that.
Now, appreciate all the comments. They are great comments. Now, I'd like to ask everyone this question, which I had asked before, okay? And specifically, I'd like to ask the two new friends who join us. Can we go back to the thinking box slide? So I asked that question before. Infinity here is still marked by a box. What happens if you break out that box? What do you have? Infinity here is still a box. I asked that question before, when I first exposed to this slide.
Thank you, Dr. Chen, for a very enlightening lecture. Okay, so we have 5-10 more minutes. I'd just like to do a little recap of what we learned today. First, I want to put our curriculum now back into a holistic thinking. Right? We start out asking you for an assignment. How many breaths do you think you would breathe in this one lifetime? And many replied, I don't know. So many breaths, I cannot count it. Right? So after today's lecture, do you not feel that the number of breaths we will take in our lifetime is actually a very small number? And it's quite countable, isn't it? It's quite conceivable compared to the number of schemes that we have learned today, right? if you agree with that viewpoint, we have already succeeded in the, what is the title of the lecture? How to open our mind, right? Before, our mind was thinking inside a very small box, and we think the number of breaths is already way too big, way too irrelevant, right? But as soon as we open our mind, the number of breaths we take in one lifetime is rather finite. It's rather limited, a rather small number. So this is how we open our mind. Plus, Dr. Chan mentioned about Zen. So that is the Zen thing about the assignment. They give you a question, seems to have no answer. But if you Zen that question, it's very Zen. And there's no right or wrong answer. Zen is like that. Because right or wrong is a duality. Zen is to open up our mind so that we will transcend duality. Alright? So in this whole A to B curriculum, Zen is embedded in every lecture. But I don't call it Zen. I want you to discover that it is actually embedded Zen in all of this. And then, in the end, you will come out understanding Zen much more profoundly than people who deliberately go and study Zen, and therefore put the emphasis on the lotus sitting, breathing, meditation skills, and all those. Right? With all due respect, that's only a very small part of Zen. Okay. Zen, one of the approach of Zen, and an important approach, is what we call questioning. And when we get serious about a question, that question can be all-consuming. That we put our whole passion, our life passion, to answer that question, and it becomes a passionate question. Zen master, they all carry a passionate question, and they pursue the answer just very similar way as we pursue what is duality, how to open our mind. And as soon as that breaking through is called broken through the Zen gate, it's like a wall, like a gate that confines us into that inside the thinking box. And once you break through, it's called breaking through the Zen gate, that Xing Guan. That is the gate. Okay? The gate meaning the thinking box. So that's the one thing. Second thing I want to comment is that, see, Qi is correct when she said finite and infinite are opposite. She's absolutely correct if we go to that infinity slide. Right? She says, yeah, finite means measurable. So something measurable is not unmeasurable, right? By definition. And then when we look at the definition of infinity, that means it's immeasurable. If something is immeasurable, it cannot be measurable. So, by definition, they are opposite. Therefore, by the human definition, and this is how the society thinks, and by their definition, that's why I say definition is so critical and important, right? We can challenge the definition. That's fine. As we break through duality, we challenge definition. But when we live in this very society, this very life with our friends, family, relatives, everything, we have to speak their language. So we have to abide by the definition. And therefore, we have to speak and act precisely as slide number 47 does. But in our heart, in our spirit, we transcend the duality. But we still live with most people. So we still speak the same language, but our heart is not, okay? So that is the fun part about Buddhism. You transcend
this earthly realm, but yet we are still in this earthly realm. But you're a different person now. You've resolved all the conflicts. So, she is correct by definition. And then, Jonathan is correct when she said, no, I disagree. He challenged those definitions. No, I don't think finite and infinite are opposite concepts. Right? So it's speaking one we call the societal or within this earthly realm. Okay? She represents the earthly realm language, and Jonathan represents the beyond this earthly realm language when he transcends duality and spoke like that. Right? Now, very interesting and sad thing. When Jonathan transcended duality and say, finite is not any different from infinite, infinite is not any different from finite. Then, as he was describing that, suddenly he was out of words. Remember? At the end of that very sentence, he said, well then he cannot continue talking, right? Why? When you transcend duality, what can you say? There's nothing more to describe once you transcend it. That is why the Zen masters say nothing. That is why the Zen language is so difficult. That is why we do not begin learning Zen. We learn the sutra first. After one whole year and everybody graduates, then we will venture into Zen, I promise you. But unless we have all this prerequisite, all this foundation, let us not talk a language which is languageless, which is Zen. Okay. So that's very Zen. So I want the class to take note that as Jonathan becomes wordless at the end, and when Dr. Chan says, what happens if there's no infinity box, okay? And everybody's lost of word to answer him, isn't it? When you're lost of word to answer Dr. Chan, and when you can hear what Jonathan said in no words, you have the correct answer, which is the Zen answer to a passionate question. So I'll just close the class on this remark. And thank you very much. I appreciate your attendance. Without you, there is no class. Thank you very much.